I'm 74 years old, and everything you think matters right now doesn't. The career, the money, the perfect body, the house, the title, none of it. I know you don't believe me. When I was your age, I wouldn't have either. But 2 years ago, my body gave up on me in a hospital room, and for the first time in 54 years, I had silence, real silence. And in that silence, I realized something terrifying. I'd spent my entire life preparing to live and forgot to actually live. This isn't advice. This is a warning. I'm running out of time. And so are you. 2 years ago, my body made a decision for me. I didn't get to choose. I was at work, doing what I'd done for decades, pushing through like I always did. And then, nothing. My body just gave up. Medical retirement, forced, permanent. I remember sitting in that hospital room, tubes in my arm, fluorescent lights buzzing above me. And for the first time in 54 years, silence. Real silence. Not the kind you get on a weekend. The kind that comes when everything stops and you're left alone with a question you've been avoiding your entire life. Where did the time go? I started thinking about all the years, the jobs, snow ski tours, bars, working offshore, waiting tables, cooking in kitchens, teaching art, you name it. I did it. City to city, paycheck to paycheck. No plan, no security, just moving. And you know what haunted me most in that hospital bed? It wasn't regret. It was the realization that I'd spent decades preparing to live and forgot to actually live. That's the lie, you see. The biggest one we tell ourselves. I'll be happy when I get the promotion, when I have enough money, when I retire, when things settle down. The when never comes. It just keeps moving, like a horizon you can never reach. I immigrated to the Netherlands 26 years ago. 26 years. I blinked and it was gone. I have 2 kids. I watch them grow up. But here's what breaks me. I can't remember most of it. Not really. I was there physically. I was in the room. But I was thinking about work, about bills, about what needed to be done next week, next month, next year. I was so busy preparing for tomorrow that I missed today. My daughter asked me something once when she was 7. I don't even remember what it was. I was looking at my phone. She never asked again. That moment is gone. I can't get it back. And now she's grown, and I wonder how many moments like that did I lose? Here's the thing nobody tells you about time. It doesn't feel fast when you're young. You think you have an infinite supply of it. But time doesn't speed up. You just start paying attention to it. Every year that passes, you realize how little you actually have left. And the scariest part? You don't get a warning. There's no alarm that goes off at 40 saying, hey, you're halfway through, maybe start paying attention. You just wake up one day, 67 years old, in a hospital bed, and realize the game is almost over. Let me tell you what I would say to my 18-year-old self if I could go back. I'd tell him 2 things matter above everything else: your health and your time. And actually, I'd put health first, because if you don't have your health, time becomes suffering instead of living. I'd tell him, don't drink too much. Don't do drugs. I know it sounds boring. I know it sounds like something a parent says. But those things steal years from you in ways you can't see until it's too late. Every blackout night, every hangover that turns into a lost day, every substance you use to numb yourself, that's time you're never getting back. And when you're 67, barely able to do the things you love because your body gave out early, you'll wish you'd protected it. I spent almost 15 years bouncing around. No stability, no money, odd jobs. Living day to day, do I regret it? No, I don't, because I was alive during those years. I was experiencing things. I was meeting people. I was learning who I was. That time taught me more than any corporate job ever could have. But here's what I do regret. I didn't appreciate it while it was happening. I thought it was just a phase. I thought real life would start later. I didn't understand that was real life. That was the good part. The part where I was free. The part where I had energy. The part where the world still felt infinite. When you're young, you think you're invincible. I honestly didn't think I'd make it to this age. I lived recklessly in some ways, took risks, pushed boundaries. Some experiences almost took my life. But I survived. And now I'm here, looking back, and I see something clearly. The hard times, the crazy times, the mistakes, the failures, they made me who I am. I don't want to change any of it because those experiences, good and bad, shaped me. But the question I ask myself now is, did I learn the lessons fast enough? Or did I waste decades learning things I could have understood sooner? Here's the truth about advice. Nobody listens to it. You can't. You have to experience life yourself. You have to make your own mistakes. You have to touch the fire to know it burns. I get that. But maybe, just maybe, if I tell you this now, it'll plant a seed. And when you're 35 or 45 or 55, and you start to feel that tug, that quiet voice saying something's not right, maybe you'll remember this. Maybe you'll course correct a little sooner than I did. I've been married for almost 30 years. 30 years. That alone feels like a miracle in today's world. You want to know what marriage taught me? It taught me that love isn't about finding the perfect person. It's about choosing someone and then choosing them again every single day. Even when it's hard, especially when it's hard, learning to compromise, learning to give, learning to be a partner, not just a person who lives in the same house. We raised 2 wonderful kids. That's my proudest achievement. Not the art I've made, not the jobs I've held. The fact that we stayed together, worked through the mess, and built something real. But let me be honest with you about something that haunts me. There were years, maybe a decade, where my wife and I were just roommates. We were married on paper, but we stopped really seeing each other. I was focused on work, on survival, on making sure the bills were paid. She'd suggest things. Let's take a weekend trip. Let's try that new restaurant. Let's just talk. And I'd say, I'm tired. Maybe next month. Next month never came. And slowly, quietly, she stopped asking. We became 2 people living parallel lives, passing each other in the hallway. Do you know how terrifying that is? To wake up one day and realize you're living with a stranger, someone you promised your life to? It took my medical retirement to break that pattern. When I stopped working, when I couldn't hide behind busyness anymore, we had to face each other, really face each other. And here's the miracle. We found our way back. But not everyone gets that chance. Some people realize too late. Some people wake up at 70, alone, wondering where their partner went. I got lucky, but I lost years I can't get back. Years where we could have been connected, where we could have been building memories instead of just surviving. So let me ask you something, and I want you to really think about it. When was the last time you had a real conversation with your partner? Not about logistics, not about who's picking up the kids or what's for dinner. A real conversation about dreams, about fears, about who you're becoming. If you can't remember, you're making my mistake, and you don't have as much time as you think you do. Here's what I've learned about relationships, about family, about the people you love. Time is the currency. Not money, not gifts, not grand gestures. Time, attention, presence, being there, fully there, when it matters. I can't tell you how many times my kids wanted to show me something, a drawing, a game, a story, and I said, not now. I'm busy. Not now. Those 2 words are a thief. They steal the only thing that actually matters, because now is all you have. There is no later. Later is a fantasy. Later is the place where regrets are born. I look at my children now, grown, living their own lives, and I'm proud of who they are. But I also feel this ache, this quiet grief for the moments I missed. The school plays I was too tired to attend. The bedtime stories I rushed through. The questions I didn't answer because I was distracted. They turned out beautiful anyway, thank God. But I wonder who I could have been for them if I'd understood sooner. If I'd known that being present was more important than being successful. Deep down, I think we all want the same thing. To feel fulfilled, to have a sense of purpose, to know that our life mattered. And I spent decades thinking that fulfillment would come from achievement, from recognition, from doing something impressive. But that's not where it comes from. It comes from the people you love. It comes from showing up. It comes from being the kind of person that others feel safe around. That's it. That's the whole secret. Be there. Be kind. Be present. Everything else is noise. The older you get, the more you realize something liberating. It doesn't matter what other people think. It doesn't matter what you wear, how you look, whether you're impressive at parties. What matters is whether you respect yourself, whether you're proud of who you are when you're alone. And let me tell you, that's such a relief. To stop performing, to stop pretending, to just be. I spent so many years trying to prove something, prove I was smart, prove I was successful, prove I was worthy. And none of it mattered. The only person I needed to prove anything to was myself. I'm lucky in one way. I've always had this drive inside me to create, to paint, to make art. That's been my anchor through everything. Even when I was working jobs I hated, even when I was struggling financially, I always came back to the canvas. It kept me alive. It gave me purpose. And now, for the first time in my life, I can focus on it fully. No distractions, no excuses, just me and the work. And that feels sacred. Like I'm finally doing what I was put on this planet to do. But here's what took me 54 years to understand. Purpose doesn't have to be grand. It doesn't have to be impressive. It doesn't have to change the world. Your purpose might be raising good kids. It might be making people laugh. It might be taking care of your aging parents. It might be creating something small and beautiful that only a few people ever see. That's enough. More than enough. We've been sold this lie that we all need to be exceptional, that we all need to leave a legacy, that we all need to be remembered. But the truth is, most of us won't be remembered. And that's okay. What matters is that we lived fully, that we loved deeply, that we showed up for the people who needed us. Over the last 40 years, I gave my soul to other people. I worked for bosses who didn't care about me. I sacrificed my body, my time, my energy for paychecks that barely covered rent. And I don't blame anyone for that. I made those choices. But now, in these final chapters, this time is mine. This time is for developing who I really am, for letting out what's been inside me all along. And that is the most freeing feeling I've ever experienced, to finally be myself without apology. I don't know how much time I have left. None of us do. My body is sick. I'm medically retired. I can't do the things I used to do. But I can still paint. I can still create. I can still love my family. And as long as I can do those things, I'm okay. I'm more than okay. I'm at peace. For the first time in 54 years, I'm not chasing anything. I'm not running from anything. I'm just here, present, alive. Let me tell you what I've learned about health, because this is critical. Your body is not invincible. It will break. It will give out. And when it does, everything changes. You can't buy it back. You can't negotiate with it. You can't work harder to fix it. So take care of it now, not tomorrow. Now. Don't drink yourself into oblivion. Don't poison your body with substances that promise escape but deliver destruction. Don't ignore the warning signs. Don't sacrifice your health for a job that would replace you in a week if you died. Your body is the only vehicle you have. Treat it like it matters, because when it's gone, everything else becomes irrelevant. After 54 years, I've also learned to appreciate people differently. I'm more willing to give my time, not because I expect anything in return, not because it benefits me, but because connection is what makes us human. Helping someone who needs it, listening to someone who's hurting, being kind without a reason. That's what life is about. It's not transactional. It's not about keeping score. It's about recognizing that we're all in this together, struggling through the same fears, the same pain, the same uncertainty. And if we can make it a little easier for each other, that's everything. I think about the world we're leaving behind. I think about my kids, my future grandchildren, and I wonder, what kind of planet are we handing them? We're so focused on individual success, on competition, on winning, that we've forgotten how to work together. But the truth is, the more we collaborate, the more we support each other, the better this world will be. And it starts small. It starts at home. It starts in your community. It starts with you choosing kindness over cruelty, presence over absence, love over fear. So how do I sum up 54 years? Here it is, as simply as I can say it. Take care of yourself. Protect your health, like your life depends on it, because it does. Don't waste years numbing yourself with alcohol, with drugs, with distractions that steal your time. Spend your time with the people you love. Really spend it, not half present, not distracted, fully there. Because at the end, that's all that matters. Not the money you made, not the titles you earned, not the things you accumulated. Just the people you loved and the moments you shared with them. If you take anything from this, take this. You don't have as much time as you think. I know that's hard to hear. I know it sounds dramatic. But it's true. The clock is running. Every day that passes is a day you don't get back. So stop waiting. Stop preparing. Stop putting off the things that matter for some imaginary future when everything will be perfect. That future doesn't exist. This is it. Right now. This is your life. This moment. This day. And you get to choose what you do with it. I'm 74 years old. I'm sick. I don't know how much time I have left. But I'm finally at peace because I'm doing what I came here to do. I'm painting. I'm loving my family. I'm being myself. And that's enough. It took me 54 years to get here, but I made it. You don't have to take that long. You can start today. You can choose differently right now. You can put down your phone and really see the person in front of you. You can say the thing you've been meaning to say. You can start living instead of just surviving. If this resonates with you, if something I said hit home, share this with someone who needs to hear it. Comment below and tell me, what are you going to do differently? What are you going to stop putting off? Because I need to know this mattered. I need to know that maybe, just maybe, I saved you some time, some pain, some regret. The clock is ticking for all of us. What are you going to do with the time you have left? Thanks for watching, and see you next time. Bao Tao Ka Ya Talk to.